Watch3 forecast coming up here on Weather Unfiltered. So glad you could join us, everyone. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson. We've also seen, in addition to big waves, how about some big hail? Ping pong ball size hail and larger yesterday. This apartment building stairwell in Wichita, that doesn't look like ping pong ball there, but there were up to, yeah.
Like, it's a good place to duck under cover, right?
What if that's not your apartment?
Well, saying it's still good shelter, I think.
Ma'am, are you okay? Yeah, I'm just waiting here until the storm goes, so just...
Can I get you a cup of coffee?
No.
You need a biscuit?
I'm just going to sit on your front mat.
You feel bad for him, though. There you can see it was really piling up for us here. There could be some more severe weather back in our forecast.
Yeah, we've got a few days of opportunities into tonight. You can see parts of the Northeast down into sections of the Tennessee Valley. Tomorrow, have a little better chance back into sections of the Ohio Valley.
All right, so all these areas are going to keep a real close eye on, extending into your weekend even. So if you have plans to be outside,
boots, and let's play some honky tonk. We've got 88 degrees on the thermometer right now. So, you know, you're sweating. It's that season where we all want to do fall, but we not necessarily can, or we can't necessarily do fall because it's still too hot. Everyone knows that, like, Britney Spears meme where she's like sweating and it's like me trying to wear my fall outfit and look cute, but it's just too darn hot. All right, so 88 now, but there are some changes coming. When we look at the forecast moving forward, we're going to see those numbers drop, some more so than others. And some of these could be on the strong to severe side. Again, parts of the Ohio Valley down to Middle Tennessee. Those are the spots to watch for the better chances of severe weather tomorrow. So Nashville and Somerset, we're looking at Mount Sterling and Lexington, Kentucky, Huntington, Charleston, West Virginia, Ironton, Ohio would be a spot also to watch. So right there along the Ohio River, all of those areas could see a feisty thunderstorm. Outside of that, an isolated severe chance present. So we start things off tomorrow morning on the quieter side across a lot of these areas. Won't see much happening for the early part of the day. By the afternoon, here around 5 o'clock, you notice a few of those thunderstorms starting to show up into central or west central Tennessee, into parts of central Kentucky. Those storms continue east. We see more of a line form, and that'll be through the mid and late evening. So I know the timing's not necessarily ideal. Those Friday night plans, movie, dinner, any Friday night football games, we could be dodging thunderstorms. So I know, gosh, up there near Charleston, West Virginia at 11 o'clock, we've got my favorite team name, the Polka Dots. Town name is Polka. Dots is the team. So we could be, again, dodging some thunderstorms and maybe even having some stoppages of play because these storms will, of course, bring the risk of lightning on their own. And then there's also the severe threats. Now, overnight into Saturday, we still have quite a bit of a mess on the radar. Showers and thunderstorms. Memphis area, early start to your thunderstorms. Places like Birmingham and Huntsville also looking at that chance of thunderstorms to start the day. So, again, you may get an unwelcome wake-up call. You're like, I was hoping to sleep in just a little bit. Now, you may be, the thunder may be saying you're getting up and starting the day and making breakfast for the whole family. All right, energy for storms building north then on Saturday. Now we've got the mid-Atlantic. Now we've got the Northeast in that opportunity zone for severe weather. Front coming through, that's going to provide the lift. So we've got lift, we've got energy, we will have moisture. Now, setup not crazy good that we're thinking, gosh, there's going to be, you know, showers and thunderstorms everywhere, but I do think there will be showers and thunderstorms with a few of those turning severe. So it's the lower end severe risk, but it's a severe risk for our Saturday. Saturday morning, we've got the showers and thunderstorms again through sections of the Ohio Valley, back down through Kentucky and Tennessee. Afternoon hours, that's when we watch places like Albany, when we watch places like New York and Philadelphia, D.C., Baltimore, the Delmarva. So Wilmington and Dover, Delaware could be spots that get in on some frisky thunderstorms. By the later evening hours, you can see the storms are offshore. Anything that's left is just a lingering shower. So yet again, it's Saturday, you know, that kind of mid-afternoon through evening time frame that's going to bring us our risk of thunderstorms. Rainfall to come, up to an inch for many, but there is that corridor between areas just to the west of 95 where we could see 1+ inches between now and Sunday morning. Mike?
All right.
We're in a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm right now, moving to the north and west, but that forecast cone is going to swing it off towards the north and east with that moisture, that remnant tropical moisture moving back into the desert southwest. So next 36 hours, you can see some of that tropical moisture, especially southern parts of Arizona, looking at that influx, and that means we continue to watch for the risk of flash flooding. Southwest flood threat tomorrow, Saturday. Those are going to be the big days to watch. Flood watches posted for areas along I-17, I-10, I-8, I-19. So we're looking at Phoenix all the way down towards the U.S.-Mexico border, as far north as Prescott. A little bit of southeastern California also in play for that potential flood risk. When we look at Tucson, so far for the month of August, it has been very, very dry. Second hottest August on record and the driest on record. So it's been very hot and very dry. Total rainfall just over 1/10 of an inch. That's it. That's all you've seen for the month. Average would be nearly 2 inches. So we are running well below average. However, we've got 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Now we're in September, so you're not going to, you're still going to chalk it up to the driest August on record. But do we make it all up very quickly? That's the concern. When we look at forecasts, you want to get just a little bit each and every day, little drops in the bucket, so to speak, that would be more manageable. 1 to 2 inches of rainfall coming into the weekend, that would spell flood problems. So that's why we do have the flood watches. The flash flood risk is also going to be present. We've got some flash flood warnings, even a severe thunderstorm warning out there now. But let's start here in Arizona. We've got Pima and Pinal counties under the flash flood warning. This continues until 5:15. Considerable threat with this, and it's still raining in these areas. So we've seen some moderate to heavy downpours, still raining heavily in parts of this warned zone. Rainfall amounts have been in that ½ inch to 1 inch plus in a short period of time. And remember, that's all going to run to those low spots. Southern Nevada, southeast California, western sections of Arizona also under flash flood warnings, and as I mentioned, severe thunderstorm warning as well. So gusty winds would also pick up some dust, so we'll continue to watch for that. Rainfall to come, highest amounts farther to the south, some 1 to 2 inch amounts possible into Saturday. Outside of that, this really goes to show the pretty widely scattered nature that we'll have to our showers and thunderstorms. Some areas may not see anything. Some areas will and could see, again, 1 to 2 inch totals. That's why we've got to watch to monitor that risk of flash flooding so closely, Mike.
Absolutely, Alex. Thank you. Also,
along the beaches, you may notice, dang, those waves are big. Here's the Grand Haven wave forecast. This is tomorrow morning into the afternoon hours. So 6 a.m. through the early afternoon, we're going to be looking at waves at or over 10 feet. So some big time waves sloshing there along the Great Lakes. Right now, we've got generally waves in that 1 to 4 inch or 4 foot range along most of the Great Lakes. The exception is Superior, where we've got, an average of about 5 foot waves up that way. So again, things are starting to ramp up, and they're really going to get going Friday and Saturday. So beach hazard statements have been issued, and that means you got to be careful out there. High wave action can be expected, strong currents, basically dangerous swimming. I know we had a really nice Labor Day, but this weekend things are going to be a lot different in the water. So really have to consider whether or not you'd go in if you were even considering it. Again, weather otherwise may keep you out of the water. Rip current danger is high up there off of Lake Superior, also northern parts of Lake Michigan, then moderate risk of rip currents outside of that. Even the eastern shore of Lake Ontario, we've got that too. So we've got winds picking up. 20 to 30 plus miles an hour at times. Chicago, look at Friday around lunchtime, 35 mile an hour gusts, 40 mile an hour gusts on or in the Detroit area. So no wonder on the lakes, things are really going to be active. We get you into the late part of Friday, still gusting to around 25 miles an hour in Marquette. Tomorrow could see some airport issues because of the wind and, of course, because of some rain showers, too. But Detroit and Cleveland, it's going to be all about the wind. Yeah. And then a biscuit, and then I put the omelet into the biscuit, and I cover it with hot sauce.
Oh, my God.
Do you wonder why I'm on heartburn medication?
Maybe hot sauce at lunch.
That's what my mom always says. Why do you? No wonder you have heartburn. You have hot sauce for breakfast, but I'm like, it makes it delicious.
Okay.
Well,
you need to come up with a hot sauce. You need to invent the hot sauce that doesn't cause heartburn.
That would be a great idea.
Why has no one come up with this yet?
Probably because it's impossible.
Maybe.
But I'm gonna think about it.
You need to start your own YouTube channel called Hot Ones Breakfast.
Yes, that guy should have me on and we'll eat breakfast. And he'll be like, why are you doing this at 5 a.m.? What is wrong with
You're
you,
like,
you
"This is what I
absolute
do."
psycho? And I'll be like, well, this is what I do. I wake up and on an empty stomach, I throw a bunch of hot sauce in there.
Well, maybe you're going to need the hot sauce to warm you up because it's going
You
to be
might.
awfully chilly in the days ahead. We'll talk more about that forecast. Old Forge, New York, though, I want to say good evening to you. We've got some pretty active storms that are happening right now.
Lower end. Now, a little better chance into tomorrow, and it does include some bigger metros. So Nashville, Tennessee, Lexington, Kentucky, Huntington, Charleston, West Virginia, up into the southern parts of the state of Ohio. Outside of that, isolated risk of a severe storm. But again, some big metros, a Little Rock, a Memphis, a Huntsville, Knoxville, up there into southwest PA. So not too far, but not including Pittsburgh. We look at what's going to happen tomorrow. We'll start the day with some scattered showers around Fort Smith, especially, though, up into parts of Kansas and Missouri. Storms get going, though, by the afternoon. So a lot of your day is quiet, but look at the storms percolating over here in west central Tennessee. Look at the storms here into west central Kentucky. That forms a line by mid to late evening. Unfortunately, I know that's prime time for Friday night football games, so we'll have to watch for some of these to possibly be affected. Maybe, blowing a timeout on this and getting everybody out of the stands, because lightning will be a threat with any of these thunderstorms. And, of course, with that risk of severe weather, we'd have to watch for hail, but especially gusty, damaging winds. So, again, being in the bleachers about the worst place folks could be. Overnight into Saturday, we still have a bit of a mess of on the radar jumbled thunderstorms. Now Saturday, lower and severe risk, but high population areas. So a severe storm over a DC or a New York obviously would impact a lot of folks. The Southwest, very terrain dependent on that flash flood potential. So there are areas where we've got hills and we've got low spots, those dry arroyos or even, canyon areas. Those are the spots that tend to fill up so quickly. So we take you around the Tucson area and you can see there are going to be spots where we've got terrain. Tucson itself sitting in a lower area, but the areas of terrain that surround that, you get, let's just say, a half inch of rain over this entire area. Well, that half inch of rain on the hillside is going to fall towards those low spots. And again, when you look at some of these communities, some of these Canyon Heights, Sabino Highlands, these are going to be areas vulnerable to even more influx of water as that heavy rain falls, moves into those lower communities. So this is how you get those scenes of rushing water across sections of the Southwest. We go from a different angle. And again, looking at some of those homes that would be vulnerable, also looking at, the terrain along with some of these creek beds. They're going to be the spots that fill up. So here, this is the low spot. Anything that falls over the terrain will work into this area and then eventually work up towards the Tucson area. So Southwest, we have to think about, all the activities that folks like to do when they're visiting sections of the Southwest. Yeah, hiking and everything's great, but you're hiking in some of these lower spots and you've got rain coming down on the higher elevations, that's going to rush downhill and put you in danger.
In size, we're going to have that blustery forecast coming up here on Weather Unfiltered. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson. We got a lot to cover from tropics on the east and west side of the U.S. We're, of course, still watching our invest in the Atlantic, but plenty of activity in the eastern Pacific. And then we've had cool downs, we've had wind, and we've had thunderstorms.
To say the least, we've got a lot to talk about. There's no doubt about that. Did you see what happened with the storms that are for the forecast? So we've got, hail like this that happened in Kansas yesterday. Some of that hail was ping pong ball. I think there were even some reports of tennis ball size hail.
Yeah, there were some massive, there were destructive tags on some of our severe thunderstorm warnings. So things were happening in the state of Kansas. Things a little calmer out there
today.
Under the
stairwell, you go there, right?
Yeah, and you're like, why is this video so frantic? Because you're like, well, I'm trying to get it, but then I'm getting hit from all directions. So, you do the best you can.
Hail does not feel good.
No.
Trust me.
No, not even a little bit. And we've got more opportunities moving forward. Not huge risks for severe weather, but especially tomorrow, you can see Ohio Valley down towards, say, Middle Tennessee would be the spot to watch.
Yeah, the next front's coming through. It may be a trigger for some of those storms, but I think more than anything else, you're going to notice how much cooler it gets behind this next front.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goosebumps. Just heard that. Yeah, I think a lot of us are like, we go from sweating to goosebumps very, very quickly. They got the goosebumps in Philadelphia because they're hanging the Super Bowl reward after the thunderstorms. Same story for the city of Nashville, currently sitting at 86. So it's a warm evening. Now, thunderstorms in the car cards for us on Friday, but again, we'll have payoff days then in the wake of that. Your Nashville 5-day forecast does show again that Friday's the day to watch, not just for thunderstorms, but also for the threat of some of those to be on the strong to severe side. So 95 on Friday. In addition to the thunderstorms, it's going to be warm. We'll keep some thunderstorms scattered about, especially early on Saturday. Look at the difference in temperatures, though. We go from mid-90s to mid-70s. 80 on Sunday. That's as warm as it gets. 81 on Monday. Back to the upper 80s Tuesday. But again, end of the weekend, early part of next week, we've got some nicer, cooler, maybe more fall-like weather for you. 80 is going to feel really, really pleasant. Now, it's not just Nashville watching for the thunderstorms tomorrow, but also sections of western West Virginia, southern Ohio, and a good chunk of Kentucky. This would include Lexington over to Ashland. So that I-64 corridor could see a storm. I'd be most concerned with damaging winds, but hail also a possibility. And of course, any storm, severe or not, is going to bring you lightning. The reason I say that is because it's Friday night. I know there's a lot of high school football games that'll be happening. These could be affected by some of the thunderstorms. Obviously, you don't want people sitting in bleachers when there's lightning out there, or the players, the cheerleaders out there on the field. One of the most dangerous spots you could be. So 5 o'clock, we've got the thunderstorms going, starting to go across sections of western Tennessee and west central parts of Kentucky. Watch as that really quickly becomes a line. So mid to late evening, that'll be your prime time for thunderstorms. By 11 o'clock, we're looking at Morgantown and Parkersburg and Charleston, West Virginia, eastern sections of Tennessee, southeastern Kentucky, a Pikeville, a Mount Sterling seeing the thunderstorms still. And then there's more action off to the west, a Memphis area. You could see some showers and storms blow up during the early morning. Another round for mid-morning. So kind of a mess for your Saturday morning, waking up to showers and thunderstorms from Nashville and Huntsville to Memphis and Texarkana. So a lot of areas, a soggier start to the day. The dog may have to settle for an afternoon walk because the morning just may not be hospitable. Now on Saturday, energy for thunderstorms will be building across the eastern states. So we've got more storms on the docket given our front that's going to continue to march east. That provides our lift. Here's your severe risk on Saturday. Areas in the 95 corridor between Boston and Hartford and New York and Philly and Baltimore and D.C. Need I go on? Yeah. Richmond and Raleigh as well. It's the lowest end risk of severe weather, but still, given the high population centers, a severe thunderstorm would be very impactful in these spots. We start the morning with showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but it's the afternoon as we get that daytime heating that things become a little bit more conducive for some of the spicier thunderstorms. There you can see that line gets going by the mid-afternoon, continuing through the late afternoon and evening hours of your Saturday. So again, those Saturday evening plans could be affected in some of the big cities, especially north of Philly. So New York and New England cities could be a rockier Saturday evening for you. Mike?
All right, Alex.
We've been talking about flooding throughout the week across the desert Southwest, and unfortunately, Lorena and the moisture from the remnant storm, or that we expect to be a remnant storm, is going to be causing some more flood potential. Right now, a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm. This is going to be moving north. So as it weakens, it starts to, lose a lot of its character or its comprehension. We've got moisture advancing into New Mexico, into Arizona, and that means more opportunities for showers and thunderstorms over very dry desert landscape and also over terrain. So as this moisture spreads into the southwest tomorrow, again into Saturday, we're going to see more showers, some thunderstorms, and more opportunities for flash flood warning. So as the cold front dips south, you can also see we've got an upper level high pressure. That moisture just gets funneled into this zone. So especially Arizona, southeast California, flood watches are posted through Saturday. So tomorrow and Saturday, those should be the bigger days for the flash flooding. In Tucson, we had the second hottest August on record. We had the driest August on record. So very hot, very dry. And now here to start the month of September on the heels of a month. All of August brought us only 11/100ths of an inch, just over a tenth of an inch, well below the average, which is just under 2 inches. We could see 1 to 2 inches of rain tomorrow into Saturday. So imagine that, more than a month's worth of rain, possibly in just a period of 2 days. And so anywhere that's going to cause you problems, but especially, again, dry desert landscape. That's the kind of terrain that allows for runoff. Then there's also areas of elevation. So now you've got more runoff, and we've already seen scenes this week of rushing water through some of these areas. We could see more of that tomorrow into the weekend. Right now, we do have several flash flood warnings from areas west and southwest of Flagstaff to the west of Phoenix, south of Phoenix as well. No longer dealing with the flash or the severe thunderstorm warning here into western Arizona, but western Arizona and extreme eastern sections of California, including Imperial and Riverside counties, we've got the flash flood warning with a considerable threat. So a lot of these have been tagged as considerable threat flash flood warnings because of that risk of fast-moving water. That's going to be a danger to anybody in a vehicle or anybody on foot as well. You know, we've got a lot of recreational areas out here. The canyons, some of these arroyos could get filled up very, very quickly, so got to be aware of the risk. Four Corners region is showery and stormy right now. That continues into the evening. Overnight, we get a bit of a break, but could wake up to some showers across parts of Arizona. And look how things, again, blossom during the afternoon from Nevada and Utah to Colorado, New Mexico, and also the state of Arizona, Mike.
All right, we also know that
You don't want to see a lot of people, so you live in the mountains.
Yeah, sign me up.
Right? You'd be perfect for that. You're going to be great.
I'm so grumpy.
You're going to be a great wilderness liver.
I am.
Yeah.
People are going to mistake me for Bigfoot.
I just actually thought of you because I read an article about, or like a headline. It was like, man lives on island alone for 15 years because he didn't want to talk to somebody. And I was like, oh, I know that person.
Perfect.
Sometimes you just, and meanwhile, I'd be like there for 7 minutes and I'd be like, anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone want to, who am I going to tell my story to about the coconut? Yeah. But like something funny with a coconut would happen and I'd have nobody to tell
I'm sorry.
except a bird.
Well,
and they don't care.
Become best friends with a bird.
Yeah, I would become a delusional person who talks to birds.
Well,
but
you were on an island with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
At one point.
That is true.
Wilson, the volleyball.
That is true. I was once a bloodstained volleyball. So I've lived quite a life. What do you say we take you to Scranton, Pennsylvania? Is coming, you know, cool downs even for places like Nashville today and tomorrow. You've been in those upper 80s, even 90s, but by the weekend, things much improved on the thermometers and even sensible weather. In Nashville, a high of like 80 on Sunday with sunshine. Going to be real nice. But tomorrow, we do have the possibility of severe weather from Nashville up into parts of West Virginia and southern Ohio. So those are going to be the spots to watch for that greatest risk of severe weather. Future radar shows that much of the day across this region is quiet on Friday, but storms get going by the mid to late afternoon. And then we've got our thunderstorms really increasing in coverage and intensity for the mid to late evening hours. And that is prime Friday night football time. So be prepared if you're in these areas that you could be dealing with a thunderstorm that has everybody clearing the bleachers. So, you know, high schools, I know somebody's out there, you know, keeping an eye on the weather. Make sure you let everybody know in advance to get out of the stands. You do not want players on the field or people in the stands with lightning and, you know, even worse with the severe weather potential. By evening, again, Memphis could see a round of storms. That probably won't be the only one. Notice by mid-morning, Memphis, Cape Girardeau, Middle Tennessee, parts of Alabama looking at more thunderstorms. So a stormy start to the day on Saturday for some folks. May not be the most gorgeous start to your weekend. Not one of those ones where you're going to go sit on the patio and have your coffee. You're going to be inside, maybe even waking up a little earlier than you'd hoped. Saturday, risk of severe weather along the 95 corridor. Lower end risk, so more of an isolated chance. But again, as we get into the afternoon and evening, we'll look at those populated areas.
We appreciate you being with us here on Weather Unfiltered. We're going to have that blustery forecast coming up. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson. We expect to see, you know, some waves at the beaches, but we've got waves that could rival, even exceed some of those beaches. Talking over 10 feet.
Some big ones are coming, no doubt about that. We got small craft advisory. We've got beach erosion. It's going to be a problem. We have gale warnings. I mean, you name it, we've got it right now.
Hopefully you did your beach time across the Great Lakes on Monday. Now,
Right.
We take it to the coast of Florida. You expect, of course, to be looking at the waves, not necessarily hoping to look up and seeing something like that. You're like, oh, that's not what I wanted.
That's pretty threatening right there. We have some storms across Florida, and they may stick around for a while, too.
Yeah, we could be looking at inches of rain by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so some serious wet weather. Also storms still in the forecast.
Yeah, a few days where storms are coming back our way here. We've got the next front that swings on through. I think the chances of severe weather aren't extreme necessarily. But more than anything else, people are going to notice how much cooler the air turns behind the fronts.
Yeah, we go from like 90s with thunderstorms tomorrow in Nashville, 80 your high on Sunday with sunshine. I like it. We'll take it. Now, again, we've got the thunderstorms. We've seen thunderstorms throughout the week. Some big-time hail moving through sections of Kansas yesterday. And then we had storms through the mid-Atlantic, parts of the north. Nashville, also a spot that'll see a significant cool down by the time we get into the weekend. 84 right now, earlier into the upper 80s, close to 90. Now, tomorrow we make it into the 90s. That heat will be one of the factors that helps to fuel some stronger thunderstorms in the area. So we bring up your forecast tomorrow. High of 95 with thunderstorms. We're going to keep some scattered thunderstorms around Saturday, I think especially early in the day. Notice those temperatures, though, drop to the low to mid 70s. 73 as good as it gets. Overnight lows into the lower 50s, and Sunday afternoon highs only 80 with sunshine. Really comfortable. Stay in the low 80s on Monday. Back to the upper 80s on Tuesday with a mix of sun and clouds. But again, at least you get some more refreshing days for the second half of the weekend and start of the new work and school week. Now, Nashville tomorrow, you're not alone in that risk of severe weather. We could be looking at Middle Tennessee through the eastern part of Kentucky into western West Virginia and southern Ohio. So Huntington, we've got Ashland, Kentucky. We've got Ironton, Ohio, Lexington, Kentucky, Nashville, Tennessee. You see Somerset, Bowling Green. These are areas that could see some stronger thunderstorms. I'd be most concerned about the gusty winds. And unfortunately, timing not going to be ideal with Friday night plans, including those Friday night football games. You see storms starting to get going into Kentucky and Tennessee by 5 o'clock tomorrow, really exploding just in time for those kickoffs for those games. Make sure if you are hearing lightning, you are getting the players off the field and you are getting the folks out of the stands. Really, really critical. And even late evening and through the overnight, showers and thunderstorms will linger. So we've got heavy rain at times through the overnight. Nashville, you get another round into Saturday morning. Memphis could be looking at multiple rounds of rain and thunderstorms. So plenty of opportunities continue to move through. Energy for thunderstorms then builds north into the I-95 corridor on Saturday. Here comes our front. That's going to provide the lift. Now we're looking at a lot of big metros along the 95 corridor, from Raleigh and Richmond to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, Philly and New York, Hartford, Boston, up towards Portland, Maine. So plenty of real estate, plenty of population. It's a lower end severe risk, but still it's a severe risk. So we've got to be aware, especially as, you know, folks are out and about on Saturday. I know, you know, we're very much now in the fall season. Everybody's back to school, but sporting events, you know, that would be happening on Saturday afternoon, and then evening plans, that's going to be prime time for the thunderstorms. You can see they really get going later in the day. So peak afternoon heating time frame, I'd say by 2, 3 o'clock, they really start to ramp up, continuing through 5, 7, 9 o'clock, moving offshore and fizzling as we get closer to midnight and especially beyond midnight, Mike.
All right, Alex, thank you for that.
This is like Arizona. We showed you that live look there of Tucson, one of the spots where flood concerns are going to be present Friday into Saturday. Lorena right now, a tropical storm with 50-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving to the northwest at 7 miles per hour, but that forecast cone has it continuing off to the north, weakening, so it's going to lose its tropical, you know, characteristics or structure. It's going to lose its organization. What it will do is send the remnant moisture up into parts of the desert southwest. So as that does, we're going to see rain chances, thunderstorm chances on the increase. Now, notice we've got that cold front dipping south. We've got upper level high pressure also helping to funnel that moisture in. So basically what you can expect, more widespread showers and thunderstorms. And so National Weather Service offices have posted flood watches for parts of California and a lot of the state of Arizona. This would include both Phoenix and Tucson. So big areas there in the state of Arizona and interstates as well. Tucson, you're coming off your second hottest August on record. So it was super hot. It was also super dry. The driest August on record was this August that we just wrapped up. We only saw 0.11 inches of rain. That's just over 1/10 of an inch. Now, on average, a month of August would bring you just under 2 inches of rain. So exceptionally dry here in the city of Tucson. Now we look at the forecast tomorrow into Saturday. 1 to 2 inches of rain is expected. We could be looking at close to or even more than a month's worth of rain in just 2 days. And again, coming on the heels of the driest August on record, desert landscape already not great at absorbing water or taking on water. So now you've got a really parched desert landscape. that water is just going to run off. Then you add terrain into the mix, and we could have some more scenes like we've already seen this week of rushing water through some of these areas. We've got flash flood warnings now south of Blythe. We've got areas into western Arizona, eastern sections of the state of California. You can see they're pretty numerous out there at this point, and there have been some really heavy rain, and there have been showers that haven't moved very much, including this one in San Bernardino County this morning in effect until 7:45. Considerable threat on this because we've got rain still coming down, and it's heavy rain still coming down. Where you have terrain, all of that water is going to rush to the low spots. So keep that in mind if you're out doing recreation tomorrow or this weekend. Those canyons, you may not even be seeing rain where you are, but if the water moves to those areas, you could find yourself in trouble. There's the overall rainfall picture right now. I think we see things start to back down or die off a little bit overnight, but as we get a little more daytime heating going tomorrow, you can see another afternoon with widespread scattered showers and storms. Mike?
All right, also following right up. Like in the middle of the night, my pajama pants are at my knees now all of a sudden.
That is true.
They're not covering my ankles or my calves anymore.
You need the elastic at the bottom?
Yeah, the bottom half of my legs are cold now.
You hear us now, pajama pants inventors. We need to do better. We need to improve the fortitude of the ankle.
I need some more grip.
Yeah.
I need some more grip in my flannel.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Maybe I just need, they need to have feet in them. Like I just need to like a onesie.
Yeah, maybe you do need a onesie. Or we need to like work out our calves better.
Just get some really
like our
big,
old camera op, he had the best calves.
Say, dude, look at the gams on that guy.
Those will keep your pajama pants in place. We're all in the gym doing calf raises just to keep our pajama pants in place.
I think
Hold on, I'm gonna go work on pajama legs.
Maybe just turn the heat up a little bit and it'll be fine.
I kind of like this other plan.
You do?
Yeah, like we're gonna start like a new TikTok
right
trend. Everybody's doing pajama legs.
Calf raises.
Yeah, all right.
Here in the West.
While we do that,
join us, everybody.
What do you say we go to Tennessee? Keep it up. Oh. Now look at Friday's severe risk. Little higher severe risk on Friday than Saturday. A lot of spots, it's just an isolated chance, but Middle Tennessee up through southern Ohio and western West Virginia, a little bit more potency expected, a little bit more coverage of severe weather expected. Timing may not be our friend, especially for those Friday night football games. So we'll start the morning dry. Much of the day dry, but look, as we get towards 5 o'clock, here are a few thunderstorms firing. They really get going by mid and late evening. So by 7, by 8, through the late evening, we've got thunderstorms all across the board. And this is why I say you got to watch that forecast for those Friday night football games. Do not want folks in the stands or on the field with lightning at the very least. And the severe risk, I'd be most concerned about the gusty winds. And by the way, overnight into Saturday morning, we've got more rounds of rain showers and thunderstorms, heavy rain as well. So Nashville, you could be looking at another round. Memphis, a stormy start to your Saturday morning. Maybe one of those mornings where it depends on what type of person you are. If thunder wakes you up and you're like, well, great, now I'm up and I can't go back to sleep, you'll be having an earlier breakfast. Or if you're somebody who loves sleeping in thunderstorms, you may stay in bed till noon. Which type are you? Who knows? Chance of thunderstorms again on Saturday. I-95 corridor, best chance risk, but it's going to be an isolated threat for those cities.
On Weather Unfiltered, so glad you could be with us. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson. We would expect to see waves on the Florida beaches, the East Coast. Remember, on the heels of Aaron, we had some big waves, but 10 feet or more for the Great Lakes.
It's going to get really choppy out there. There could be some beach erosion. We've got small craft advisories, gale warnings. Like, it's been rough. And actually, the center of the low is way up in Canada.
Yeah, so expect a gusty and choppy end to the week. Now, Florida, we've got quite a bit of cloud cover at the beaches, and could we be looking at inches of rain by the time the weekend's over?
Yeah, it looks likely, right?
Yeah.
We've got a system that just wants to drape itself over Florida, and so this is the result for South Florida in particular. Some really heavy rain. For some of you like Fort Lauderdale, you need the rain. We'll talk details on the numbers coming up.
All right, we've also had some active weather. A place like Nashville tomorrow. Now, it was a warm day out there today. Earlier, we checked in near 90, currently at 80 degrees. Tomorrow, back into the 90s, mid-90s for highs, but we're going to see more thunderstorm action for Middle Tennessee for our Friday, and that'll linger into Saturday, but big changes with the temperatures. Again, tomorrow, mid-90s, 73 as good as it gets on Saturday. Again, we'll start the day with showers and thunderstorms. Around Sunday, you get a really nice payoff. Look at this, 80 degrees with sunshine. We're going to keep that going on Monday, so I know it's going to be a tough one to go to work. Morning lows, by the way, in the low to mid-50s, and then we've got partly cloudy skies with temps back into the upper 80s for Tuesday of next week. So thunderstorms will be the story tomorrow. That'll bring the changes, though. So it's like you gotta work for those changes. Tomorrow's best risk of severe weather in that bright red. So southern Ohio, western West Virginia, back down into middle Tennessee. Those are our best chance areas. I think where we'll see a little bit more coverage of severe weather, too. Outside of that, we could see a hit or miss severe thunderstorm from North Texas all the way to southwest PA. Future radar, most of the areas with the chance of severe weather, or the greatest chance of severe weather, you're going to have a pretty quiet day. Morning hours are good, midday's good, early afternoon's good. Things get going by the late afternoon. Here's 5 o'clock. Notice the storms into parts of Tennessee and Kentucky. Those thunderstorms will really expand in coverage as we get towards the mid-evening and continue into the late evening. Now, I know the timing not ideal. It's Friday night in the fall. That means Friday night football, so we'll be aware of that. And by the way, the thunderstorms continue into the overnight, so areas will be looking at multiple rounds of thunderstorms. Nashville early Saturday could be looking at more wet weather. Memphis, multiple rounds of thunderstorms for you as well. On Saturday, our front continues to charge off towards the east. Out ahead of that front, energy builds, so that's going to help to fuel more severe chances. It's going to be a lower end risk, so I think if anything, kind of hit or miss or widely scattered severe storms. And we're not going to be looking at a huge severe outbreak or even massive severe threats, but I do think there will be some severe warnings. Gusty winds, again, would be the main concern, but with it being the I-95 corridor, with it being a weekend, we could see a lot of people affected. You get a severe thunderstorm warning in the New York City metro, you're going to have big problems for a lot of folks. So Saturday, the risk from Raleigh all the way up to Portland, Maine. So again, major metros in the Northeast could be at risk of a severe thunderstorm. Future radar, we start the morning with showers and storms into interior parts of the Northeast, sections of the Ohio Valley. Those storms begin to get a little bit more feisty, a little bit more frisky through the afternoon and early evening. Then they're out of here. I think by late evening, most of the storms are done. If not fizzled, they're offshore. And the morning on Sunday will be much quieter across sections of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. So first weekend of NFL should be pretty good. But obviously, we'll be watching for the thunderstorms for college games in the Northeast on Saturday. Rainfall to come. Most areas keep it under an inch, but there will be some spots. You can see that stripe of deeper green, 1 to 2 inches possible there. That's through Sunday morning. Foxborough, that is a place where we could see weather impacts to the game. We've got the Patriots hosting the Las Vegas Raiders, and this is a forecast that features at least rain showers. Again, I don't think it's, torrential rain. I don't think it's crazy thunderstorms, but we will have showers through that late morning, early afternoon time frame. Mike?
All right, Alex.
Weather across sections of the Southwest. A lot of clouds like what you saw there in Tucson. A lot of showers, a lot of thunderstorms that have prompted flash flood warnings. Tropical storm Lorena right now a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm moving to the northwest 7 miles per hour. Now the forecast cone, not very much to go with this one. It's going to continue to weaken into a depression, and that remnant moisture is going to work its way into sections of the southwest. So with the storm weakening, with that moisture starting to funnel up into the southwest, we're going to be watching for more in the way of rain chances. There's our high helping to funnel that moisture into our southwestern states, and of course a cold front dropping south too. So expect more widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms again tomorrow and again on Saturday. So between now and Saturday, we do have flood watches issued for parts of California, but a lot of the state of Arizona, and this includes both Phoenix and Tucson. I-17, I-8, I-10, I-19. So these are all areas where we could be looking at not just high water issues, but moving water. We've already seen scenes this week of too much water, and you see that desert, landscape, that dirt and dust being picked up, and you see this really dark brown water rushing through communities. That's what we could see again tomorrow. Now, Tucson, you're coming off your second hottest August on record, also the driest August on record. So coming on the heels of that, where we only saw 0.11 of an inch for the entire month. Average is just under 2 inches of rain. We've got 1 to 2 inches possible here in the next 2 days. So you get some heavy thunderstorms, you could see some very heavy rain. And desert landscape already not great at absorbing rainfall. very parched desert landscape, even worse. And then we've got terrain that we've got to talk about. So you're going to have a ton of runoff if we get these big time showers and thunderstorms. We've already seen that today. You can see flash flood warnings continue for parts of California and Arizona. Also have a severe thunderstorm warning with a flash flood warning there to the east of Yuma. So we look closer here at Yuma County. In effect until 6:30, a radar indicated severe thunderstorm warning. So gusty winds, perhaps some small hail. I'd be really concerned about wind. Again, we've seen a lot of dust also getting kicked up through the week. And notice right here along and south of I-8, we've also got the flash flood warning because this storm isn't moving much, and it's still bringing heavy rain over the same areas. Storm's not moving much or quickly into the state of California either. We've got San Bernardino County under the flash flood warning. This includes Highway 95. Considerable threat on this one. Again, warning continues until just before 8 o'clock local time. Also some flash flood warnings into northwest parts of Arizona, into southwest parts of the state of Utah. So the Four Corners is a spot we'll again be watching during the day tomorrow. Take, for example, our future radar. Tonight, still scattered rain, heavy at times. Overnight, we'll see a lot of the activity back off. Now, there will be some showers likely into parts of Arizona, parts of Colorado, New Mexico into tomorrow morning. But you'll notice by midday and through the afternoon and evening, we'll see much more coverage. So much more in the way of widespread scattered rain and storms. Yet again, like today, heavy downpours possible. And that's why we've got to watch for that risk of flash flooding more into Saturday. This shows the scattered nature of the rain shower action. Between now and Saturday, some spots could see 1 to 2 inches. Some spots could see a ½ inch to an inch. And in the desert, where there's going to be a lot of runoff again, Mike, we've got terrain. We've got to be concerned about that risk of flash flooding. If you're out doing any kind of recreation, hiking through those canyons, be aware.
For sure. Alex, thank you. I don't want to do like the cold plunge.
I have a whole sweatshirt collection just looking at me.
Oh, okay.
I'm over T-shirts. I don't want T-shirts anymore. I want sleeves. I want it all the way down to my wrist. And I want it to be fuzzy.
No, be proud of those forearms.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do work them out.
See?
Look at these things. Look at this wrist. I need to show it off. It's got bug bites all over it. It's perfect.
You want to cover up, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Desperately.
The mosquitoes are all. I need mass mosquito extinction, and that happens right around what, 55?
You and about 99% of the population would really approve of mosquito, annihilation.
Termination. Yeah. Sorry, I love animals, but mosquitoes, that's the one. That's the one. It's just.
I don't know. I can live without them too.
Same.
No doubt. All right, so let's show you what's going on with the weather. Maybe you could live without.
Into places like Nashville tomorrow, Lexington, Huntington, and Charleston, West Virginia. These are all spots that have a little better chance of severe weather. I don't think it's an outbreak, but I think we will see scattered severe storms in these areas. Wind would be the greatest risk. And unfortunately, the timing, not our friend, with Friday night football very much in swing. That's going to be the time that most of these thunderstorms make their presence felt. You can see the daytime is quiet. Morning looks good. You're not going to have any issues for your morning rush. Now, by the afternoon commute, thunderstorms starting to get going here in Kentucky and Tennessee. But watch as we go 6, 7 o'clock. Things really blow up here on the future radar. Now we've got the thunderstorms, and they'll continue through the evening. So, again, right during our Friday night football time, northern Alabama, eastern Tennessee, Memphis area seeing some thunderstorms for the late evening. And notice more firing up back to the west. So multiple rounds of rain and thunderstorms likely, not just Friday evening, but overnight and into Saturday morning. So here's Saturday, 7 a.m. You've got thunderstorms around middle western Tennessee, northern parts of Alabama, into the Little Rock metro area as well. Friday, or rather Saturday afternoon, the best chance of severe weather would be focused into our big cities on the northeast part of the country, New England state. So right along the I-95 corridor, honestly, a lot of the same areas we're watching tonight. It's a lowest end risk of severe weather, but still, I think we'll see, a few hit or miss severe thunderstorms in there. Again, wind would be the primary threat with this, along with heavy rain. But the good news is these storms are going to be moving. Saturday morning through the early afternoon, interior parts of the east and sections of the Ohio Valley. Of course, college football could be in play with some of these showers and thunderstorms. Notice things really get feisty into the afternoon. Here's New York City at 5 o'clock. They're approaching Boston, also moving through the Delmarva right in time for dinner. By the mid to late evening, storms are moving out, fizzling, and Sunday morning, we're waking up to much quieter weather. So a lot of the NFL games look good. The exception would be the New England states, where we could see a little bit of wet weather lingering.